Hello and welcome to the next video of my World's 2022 series. Daily League of Legends content. That's what this channel is about. Today there are no games, so we need a filler video. So today I did a very, very high quality visual on this board. I mean, you clearly understand what this video is about, and it didn't take a lot of time, and I'm not going to pretend like it did. Down in the description, you'll see 3 links: Twitter, YouTube, memberships, and the Discord. Twitter, follow me there. I post all my links there. Discord, join us. There's like 300 of us. There's a space for activities channel. If you'd like to get into the player pool round 2, well, no, player pool for the others, that is for people that never participated in our player pool before. Player pool round 2 is for the people that are moving on to the next round and this or that. There's pinned messages, I believe, where you can look into that on there. Predictions, pick'ems, and tier lists if you want to post your stuff there, as well as just BSing about League in the general chat and whatever else. Last night we talked about those ugly Gen G jerseys that look like a child drew the tiger. Now, no fault, if a child drew it, if there's some sad story about a kid that drew it or this or that, fine, they're great, they're beautiful. It is what it is. If it's a grown-ass person that did it, well, it's not a good look. It's really not. YouTube membership, $3 supports me. I know all the Gen G fans won't support me now that I just trashed their jerseys, but we're calling it like it is. $10, you can support me and get extra content. That includes extra videos. Daily, I do my roundup, and then I give you a preview of the games for the next day. After that video goes out, I give you a members-only video where I go over my predictions of who I think will win those games, in addition to NFL, American football, fantasy football content that comes out a couple days a week when the season's going on. So that's that. Now, for this high-quality video here, you see, what are we trying to do here? Well, it's pretty clear. We got a happy face, a sad face, and Saigon Buffalo doesn't know how to feel about it. This video is me just wrapping up the teams that are out. The 4 teams that moved on, I don't think there's a point in really talking about them. I think it was all pretty clear what occurred. Fnatic, happy they got out with no scrims after their COVID issues. They were always going to go to Group A, so it is what it is. Group EG, always if they were going to go out, they're going to go out in Group B. Happened. I mean, they knew that was going to happen. I bet they're disappointed they didn't beat Fnatic, but whatever, they didn't, and they lost to DFM, whatever, they're moved on, right? In the end, they are where we thought they would be. DRX, they're happy as hell. They went 5-0, and 5-0 with ease, so they're happy. And RNG, I mean, I'm sure they wish they beat DRX, but I think they're content with where they're at. So, the teams that actually feel strongly one way or another here. So how do we want to do this? Well, we'll go Saigon Buffalo first because they don't know how to feel. Very expected. Very expected result. I had them beating Mad Lions, but I had it in 5 games, so them losing isn't a big deal. It's a matter in which you lose that's kind of concerning. The draft was sus in multiple games. Shogun kind of got a little passive in the best of 5 there, which is a concern. But then again, the team's very young, so this is fine. I mean, a very, very young team, inexperienced, has not been on a stage like this. I mean, MSI Rumble stage is a thing, but they're in Mexico. They're away from. This might be the first time they're out of their own country. Well, they've probably been out of the country, obviously. They went to MSI. This first time maybe they've left the continent, of Asia. So that's a thing. It's a big deal for them. And if this team is breaking up, as some rumors have speculated, money and whatever else that might be playing a role in it, that'd be unfortunate. But at the same time, it is what it is. And that'll be the sad part of it, because they do have a young nucleus there that is only going to improve. Shogun, Hasmed, Bean J, Froggy, and Taki, they're all going to improve. I know Bean J and Froggy get a lot of heat, and I am less of a Bean J fan than a Froggy fan, if you could even call me a fan of either. But, I mean, what are you going to do? You lost to Mad Lions in a best of 5. You lost to them in the best of 1, which is a problem. That would have been a nice win to get. They didn't get it. Lost to RNG and DRX. You beat the 2 teams that you were supposed to beat. You know, we remember who Saigon Buffalo are. We know what they are, what they're about, what the VCS is about. So, you know, they left a lasting impact. And, yeah, so that's the thing. Now, let's get through some of the bottom teams here. I'm going to go all over the board. Let's go with Isurus Gaming. So you're probably wondering, why would I have Isurus Gaming as happy? They went 1-4. Well, in the grand scheme of things, if you really thought that they were going to beat DRX or RNG, you are on something that you should probably legally share with others if you are in a legal place. Now, they beat Istanbul Wildcats, so they came away with a win. And I think they have to be happy about that. Their final game was a win. They left a lasting impact. ADD in top lane. The Zillion, the Teemo, I mean, he had fun with it. You can't fault them for that. I mean, clearly their jungler was a little pissed after the series. I guess he walked off the stage or something before the rest of his teammates, which is unfortunate, but Grell was their best player in this event. I think that is without a doubt. I thought he was better than Seiya. This might have been Seiya's last ride, so pour one out for Seiya if you can legally drink, because, I mean, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, you know, they gotta win. Gotta win in Mexico. Show that they aren't the worst minor region after struggling at MSI, getting 1 win against DFM. You know, this is a big deal. So with that, I think they're happy. I think everybody wants to be a winner, but in the realistic point of view, I mean, you have to be happy with coming out of that the way they did in the group they were in. I think if they were in Group A, they would have had a chance to get maybe 2 wins. I think that's feasible. Now with a couple sad teams, let's go over Istanbul Wildcats. So Istanbul are winless. This comes after they went 1-5 at MSI, or what, 1-4, or yeah, 1-5. You know, the last 3 events, right? 3 of 4, or the last 3 outright, Istanbul have been the representatives of the TCL. A lot of Turkish fans were upset that the 5 all-Turkish team is the one that went to the international event because they knew that they would struggle. And I don't know what to say. You guys aren't improving, but if you get imports, is it the like as a North American fan, if, let's say TL has Bjergen Core. Trying to think of a team that doesn't have imports that are residents by this point, have been in America so long. I mean, you could see them living in America, right? But I think the point I'm trying to make is, if an import-laden team, if it's a team that is carried by imports, wins you anything at international events, is that the TCL showing that it's strong, or is it the LCK light? Like, is it the LCK academy level players showing that they're, you know, better than the TCL? I mean, I don't know what you want to do there. I don't see the regional pride in having a team that doesn't, like, that you just paid players to play for you. You pretty much called in mercenaries, right? I would be proud that an all-Turkish team continues to beat imports. I would just say that it is unfortunate that the league is in a place where you can't get any success with your best team that continues to prove that it is in the playoffs. I mean, it's a matter of fact. Like, when a team gets there 3 times in a row, I'm sorry, it's the best team in your region. You can't say, well, Nasser Esports was actually better. It's like, yeah, well, where are they? Where are they? You know, they aren't there. They didn't even really do that well in spring. So where, like, it's just, it's an unfortunate reality. I've read some Turkish fans say that they might end up being an ERL soon, which if that happens, that'll suck, but wouldn't surprise me if Riot wanted to do that so they could free up an extra major region slot and give it to like EU, you know, all the time have 4. I wouldn't be shocked by that. So Istanbul Wildcats, unfortunately, taking an L. Let's go with Chief 0-6. LCO goes from having the best minor region team going into the event, the team that I was super high on, that everybody that saw the record was super high on, literally laid an egg. I was thinking about this before I did this video. If you are realistic and look at the results of the standings, if you didn't watch any of the games and you saw the results of who made it and who didn't, Chief is the biggest disappointment in this event at play-ins. 0-6 or 0-5, sorry, just didn't show up. Nobody showed up. Arthur on day 1 showed up, and I think he saw, oh crap, my team sucks, and he just was done with it. The team was awful. Tally was awful. Reyes was bad. Alidoric was bad. Topun is whatever. He's weak side top laner. He ain't going to do anything for you. One game he had the most damage, and I think it was on a Camille. He went like 3-9 or something. Like, Chief played awful, and to the point where none of them are getting another shot in a major region. Arthur is not. Reyes is not. And going into this event, it was like, oh, wow, these guys going to be able to give a good show? Are they going to be able to have an opportunity, you know, to get into the LCS? And it did not happen. And the saddest part about it is they did so bad that now, what does that say about the LCO and their money situation and everything else? Is the LCS going to have to give them even more money to keep them afloat because it's harder to find sponsors because you literally didn't do anything, like you completely flopped, which sucks. I mean, they went 0-13. They went 0-13 in international events this year. That'll never happen again. At least not in this structure and format. It was just outright awful. Outright awful. They're disappointed. Everybody's disappointed. It's not like, you know, you don't want to pour salt in the wound or rub it in. I mean, they know that they sucked. So it just is what it is. Now let's get into a happy note here. Let's get to a happy note. Loud Brazilian team 3-2 were the second seed. Before tiebreakers, they lost against EG, but they have a lot to be proud of. They beat Fnatic. They beat the teams they needed to beat to get to where they were. You know, I can't emphasize it enough. Following up the Red Canids performance at MSI, this is Brazil's making a case for themselves, right? And the manner in which they lost to DFM was not good. That's without a doubt. I'm sure they're disappointed. They're disappointed with the fact that it was against another minor region that they struggled. You know, but there's a lot to be proud of. Tin owns this might have been his last ride like Seiya, so same thing with Seiya. You know, it's unfortunate, but at least you go into Worlds. Robo, a little older than I thought. A lot of people are like, oh, is he going to get a major region look? And it's like, he's like 24 years old. I mean, I guess I could see it only because somebody's looking for somebody really cheap. That's not to say Robo's cheap, but he's 24 years old. We're at a point now where how much you're going to get out of him. But Brance and Cios in bot lane, now that is something that Loud and Brazil could really build off of. Is it a Holy Phoenix BRTT situation where you have a guy so good, or Udapon for that example as well? Bot laners are so good that they could go to major regions and they don't. They turn down the money, pretty much. I don't know. Brance is a young kid. He may want the money, and I don't blame him if he does. He is a kid that in Brazil, I mean, from what it sounds like from people in my Discord, Brazil is not a place with a lot of money going around. So if he is able to have a chance at money to get his family some money, I can't blame him for that. I honestly, with his charisma, his outspoken behavior, just his confidence, he is the package that you want. That is a package that you want. Like, and if I am a North American team, I am taking a long look at Brant because of all of those factors. I think that it's something to think about. Now that's not to say that he's great. He's not great, but at his age, he is very good. He is very good. So that is a lot to be proud of. Brazil should be proud of what they have going on there with Loud right now. See if next year they follow it up, if they can keep it together. I don't think that it's going to happen, but if they do, I expect them to be at international events again. This team was definitely the best one I've seen out of Brazil, and people are going to go back to like 2015 Pain or 2014 Pain or whatever, but that's like history. That's in the books. That's like a totally different version of League of Legends. That's like, sports fans referencing things from like the 1950s and saying, oh, well, my team was really good. That, like, nowadays, it just isn't relevant. It's not the same game. The game isn't played the same. So, Loud, in my opinion, with the way the players have gotten better over the years, best Brazilian team they've ever had. Now, we're going to go over 2 more sad teams, and then we'll finish with DFM. End this on a happy note, right? So, BYG, very disappointing. The PCS, I said going into this event, they were disappointing. And a lot of people said, oh, no, that's not true, this or that. And it's like, well, CFO still has a chance, right? Rumors from some VCS fans in the Discord say that CFO is not good, which is a thing, right? So, historically, the PCS has been solid. They've been the best minor region. Usually the second seed is better than, a couple minor regions outright. And in this tournament, once again, it did not happen. After last year where DFM got out and Beyond Gaming did not. And the difference between this year and last year with Beyond Gaming is that they didn't have a doggo situation. Now, Minji played a fabulous event. Honestly, looking at this, mid lane wise, let me just think. Yeah, I think Minji probably was the best mid laner out of the teams that are listed here. Played a very, very good series, as LeBlanc still sticks out to me in the first game that they won, or the game that they won. He had like 14 kills. He's very, very dominant. It's just unfortunate that, once again, the PCS has faltered, this 2 seed. And we look and we say, well, PSG and J Team both lost to this sort of situation, the CFOs and BYG. And I'd like to think the PCS returns next year to a higher standard, but the LPL usually snags their talent. My algorithm, see, all these teams, a lot of these teams except Mad Lions, this is all affecting the algorithm that I have for my minor regions that I had all summer based off of MSI, right? And we're looking at the results of Worlds, and it's like, well, the LCO lost a lot of value in the algorithm, right? Istanbul Wildcats are at the bottom as well. And then you think about BYG, they're the second seed of the PCS. I had said that my algorithm did not factor in because only one team goes to MSI, right? And with this being the first time that Vietnam is at an event in a few years, we're going to use this as the scale to figure out where second tier, third tier, fourth tier teams in regions stand, and then go from there with the algorithm and leak drop off and things like that to determine the power rankings better with minor regions versus major regions. And with the PCS faltering the way they did, there is going to be a gap there between first and second that is quite sizable. And it's just a matter of how CFO does. If CFO goes 0-6, for example, in Group D, a lot of questions need to be asked. you know, and I'll have to figure out the math to do the answers. But back to BYG. BYG just all around. Outside of Minji, very sus. Husha was okay, but not great. Wako was okay, but not great. Kino, Laikai or Liang in top lane. I can't even remember which one played. They were just so not relevant. Like Beyond Gaming, very big disappointment. Mad Lions. Mad Lions, Mad Lions, Mad Lions. Everybody's disappointed in EU for Mad Lions, I imagine, because they lost to an NA team. But we have to think about this rationally going into this event. It was always Mad Lions, at least from my perspective, as the 5th best team. Out of the major region teams, they were the odd one out. They were the one that would have to go over and face Fnatic or EG in a best of 5. And going into the best of 5, I actually had Mad Lions winning 3-2. I thought that the way they played Saigon Buffalo was solid, but they completely got smoked by EG. Absolutely did not show up at all. And that's why I would have put them here, which would have been a shocker to many, because I think a lot of people are like, oh my God, but they didn't make it out. And it's like, well, somebody wasn't going to. So if you go into the event with, you know, your head on your shoulders, you know that somebody is out. And unfortunately, Mad were the team out, but they got blown out. Everyone's giving Armit a lot of crap, and rightfully so. I mean, he was not good at this event. But Niski yesterday was awful. He was awful. JoJo's set beat him in lane. Like, he was just not very good. Alyoya tried, but he got out. He got gapped by Inspired too. Unforgiven's Draven was good in the 2 games, but after that, his Callista, not so much. You know, Kaiser, I am a big fan of Kaiser. Kaiser was awful. So, you know, their event, their play-ins, best of ones, gave us what we expected. Beating Saigon Buffalo, frankly, I had Saigon Buffalo winning, but am I surprised that Mad Lions beat them? No, because they're the major region. They should beat them, and they did. But they lost to EG 3-0 in a terrible, terrible way. So with that, Mad Lion fans are definitely sad. Lastly, DFM, you're thrilled. So we've had some talk about DFM in the comment section and on the Discord. Some people have said, well, is this the best DFM? Is this the best LJL run ever? We look at last year, they got out, right? They got out. They were able to go to Worlds as a minor region team, which is very impressive, right? But this year they beat RNG in game 1, right? Now, from my perspective, because part of me thought that might happen, I am not all that surprised that DFM won game 1. And I would say that last year's DFM run was better than this one, even though they went 0-6 in groups. DFM definitely have nothing to be upset about. They showed up. They showed up and came away as the best minor region team at this event. And that's the 2nd year in a row that the LJL have done that. So the algorithm's going to love them. We look at Eevee. Eevee kind of coin flippy in top lane. Some games he carried, some games he didn't. He didn't give us our Urgot, which is upsetting. Steel was okay. A little lackluster. Steel and Arthur and Croc, all 3 Korean imports, really did not give us what we wanted. Yaharung's Yone, very good yesterday. There were moments for Yaharung. He definitely dominated in lane against the mid laners that were worse than him. Gapping Tinones in one of the games really bad in the best of 5. That sort of stuff sticks out as, you know, something that he can hang his hat on. I doubt that he actually gets an LCK look next year, only because he seems very one-dimensional. I don't see like that pizzazz out of him. If it's a control mage meta, he's going to be good. But if it's not, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to be like. So I don't know if he's going to get a look in the LCK after this. Udapon, he's been around the block for a while. Good, solid player. getting to a point now in his career where he's long in the tooth. How much time does he have left? I don't know, but he's still one of the best Japanese players of all time. And then you have Harp, who was kind of just there. But Japan should be proud. Brazil should be proud. Latin America should be. You know, those three regions definitely came away with this event with something to hang their hat on and be happy about. But down in the description, give your opinions on these teams. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube member. And tomorrow we're going to have the roundup, which is going to include the preview of the games for Friday. So stay tuned for that. And thank you for watching.